Hey folks, this is Billy DKY, the truth seeker who simplifies and demystifies. This is going to be inclusive spirituality, not exclusive religion. Have you ever noticed that all these religions, they divide people out? You know, Christianity, they hate the Muslims, and I'm sure the Muslims hate the Christians, and they're all dissected, and obviously Christians can't do what Muslims do because of their belief system. I'm sure Muslims can't do what Christians do because of their belief system. So notice what's really going on. The ego divides things. When you get rid of ego, that brings people together. What we really need, and I've said this in the other video, you know, I've been talking about this New World Order, how it's going to bring the people together, and people basically have to get rid of their ego to do that. Likewise, spirituality is going to be brought together too, and basically it's going to require people to let go of their egotistical belief systems so they can come together and not... It may turn out to be a religion, but it'll start out first as a spiritual movement. And basically, if you look at my first link on the information section, it's Falling Away Growth. You notice there's not really much in there you have to believe. It's all about open-mindedness and acceptance, bringing people together. I mean, and also look at like atheists. Atheists are separate from Christians. Atheists are separate from everybody else. Scientists is separate. Why does that all have to be separate? Why is everybody not included in one system that we all can agree on, which is growth? I mean, I think a Muslim can agree that, you know, life basically at its core is about growth. I think a Christian, really, if you get past their beliefs that whatever their cherished beliefs, they could see that, yeah, life's about growth. I'm sure a scientist could see the same thing. And I'm also sure an atheist can see the same thing. They don't have to believe God. They just have to grow. And again, people are going to bring it to the concept, well, maybe it's not positive growth. Well, I ain't talking about that. I mean, obviously cancer grows, and we're not looking for that kind of growth. We're looking for positive growth like you'd see in your garden. If you planted a seed, you'd want to see it grow. I mean, you know, it's obvious. Positive growth. So, really, what's coming is there going to be a spiritual movement that's going to bring people together of all faiths under one system, which it'll probably turn out being a religion at the end, but it'll have most of the ego out of it that's in all these other religions right now, and it'll be more inclusive, accepting. I mean, not that you still want to have the other religions, because they still be there, but there'll be, the majority of people will understand this is the way that we really want to go. And 100 years from now, or hundreds of years from now, people will look back and say, oh, well, this is so obvious that the Christians aren't right, the Muslims aren't right, and all the atheists aren't right, and the scientists. It really all boils down to growth, which I don't know. I just want to throw that out there because I get so tired of everybody being exclusive and cutting everybody out and dissecting. And again, that's all ego. And I'm not saying it's not part of the natural order that things have to divide out to come back together again, but and that brings up another point. Things typically do have to divide out to come back, and that's so you get a breath of knowledge to see what works and what doesn't work, and then it comes back together. And I think that's really how the universe works. And if you look at a tree, you can see that in the spring and the summer, the tree expands by getting leaves and it's growing thickness, and then the fall and the winter, the leaves drop. So that's a compression stage, I guess, or contracting stage, if you will, and then again it starts all over. So basically what I see in my Falling Away of Growth is I'm bringing people back together, and then it'll expand out again. You know, we'll drop off a bunch of ego stuff from back here, and it'll take on a new, subtler ego form, and then it'll happen again 1,000 years from now. Some guy come along and bring it back together again, get rid of that ego, and it'll continue to just do that, looping, contract, expanding and contracting. And if you haven't seen it already, I'll put a link up. I have a Spiritual Revolution video, which I talk more about bringing everybody together, and it's all about growth, and I'll put a link up there. But anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there because I get a lot of crap from Christians, and it's just, they're so exclusive. I mean, they're just pushing people away. Like I'm heterosexual, 100%. But even pushing gays out, I mean, do you think that, okay, let's say somebody's born gay. Do you not believe that they need spiritual guidance still? Does that give them some right? I mean, do you want to just leave them out there without any spiritual guidance, excluded from anything? I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, you want everybody following a spiritual path that suits them and helps them, encourages them to grow. And again, when it all boils down to growth, you don't get caught up in this, your sexuality or your race or your beliefs. It's all about growing. It's about helping each other grow. Even if you don't necessarily agree with their belief system, you can still help them grow as human beings. And as you grow, you come closer together instead of being ripped apart. And basically, I've been struggling with this gay thing because I didn't know how it fit. Because I was thinking, what is my feelings on this gay marriage? Because like I say, I'm heterosexual. And my intuitive feel is I'm not for it just because I'm heterosexual. And but then I was thinking, I come to understand that everything serves its purpose. And that's when I realized you just got to learn to accept things. Be what you are, be the best that you can be, grow as a human being, allow other people to grow the best that they can, help them grow the best that they can, and not be so judgmental because, they didn't necessarily, I didn't make myself, I didn't want to be the guy I am, I just am the guy I am, I'm heterosexual, I'm skinny, I can't help it, I can't make myself all big and buff. I mean, not to some extent I can, but, certain things I just can't overcome. It's just who I am. Can a dog be a human? No, it's just what it is. You just got to learn to accept people for who they are. And I don't know. We need a system that brings everybody together, every race, every people of all over the world. Anyway, I just want to throw that out there and give it out. Like I said, there'll be I'll put the link up for that spiritual revolution because I see it coming. Like I said, I see world government coming. I see world spirituality coming. And I see everybody being brought together, and I see, I'm going to see some corruption in the world government stuff, but I think eventually we'll get that under control, just like, or at least to a manageable level, just like in the Wild West was crazy for a while, and then the police come in, or sheriffs and marshals come in and settle it down, and there's still corruption, it just wasn't as much, so... And again, it's not going to be utopia. I ain't talking about utopia at all. It's going to be a progression is all I'm talking about. And things will be better, but it will not be utopia. And I'm not trying to preach utopia. Anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there. I thought it was some good advice. And, I didn't mean to do so many videos today, but people just keep, they keep rubbing me the wrong way. And I feel like I have to put this stuff out to educate people who can listen. So eventually... there'll be as people who can understand start understanding, they spread the word to other people. Eventually, there'll be so many people who understand who we can push these other people down just by the sheer mass of people who get it. I think Malcolm Gladwell's book, The Tipping Point. Right now we're way thin, and it starts getting more and more people, and then there'll be a tipping point where it'll outweigh the ignorance of other people. So. And again, that cycle's going to keep going on. There'll be ignorance, and people have to come and educate others, and it's just cycle. That's all it is. Anyway, folks, later.